time of the week.
It's that time of the week.
Well, better than that time of the month, I guess.
Well, jeez, is that how we're starting off this show, are we? Jesus.
Welcome everyone to the We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only Northern Suburbs podcast that is a complete shit show.
As you can tell.
And I didn't look at the stats, but how are we going with our international visitors? Listeners.
I also haven't looked at the stats, but I'm assuming they're going to be continuing the strong trend that these last time the people from the Netherlands were listening a lot, and I'm going to assume that this trend is still strong because that's how confident I am in our statistics, Kieran.
All right, I just said just before we started recording, I said I listened to the vice president, used to be vice president, the only first Australian vice president of Microsoft talk.
Yeah,
right. It was this 30-minute talk, and it was pretty cool to listen to. And he goes, he went to this. He's talked about here. We went to this conference, and there's like maybe 5,000 people there, and the speaker got up and said, "All right, everyone stand up, close your eyes, and everyone point north." So everyone, points in a direction, and he says, "Open your eyes," and then there's people pointing in 5,000 different directions.
Yeah.
And then he says, "All right, everyone close your eyes again, but only if you're confident. Only if you know the exact direction north is, point."
Yeah.
And he said about 5% or whatever pointed. So, 10%, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
10%. Anyway, so he said there's like 500 people pointing, right? North. But he said there was 500 people pointing in different directions.
Yeah.
Anyway, the analogy was, he's like, you've got to all align and accompany and all that kind of stuff, and you've got to be pointing in the right direction. But he said, but then there's those dickheads in your organization or company that are so confident that they're just going to take you in the wrong direction.
And they become the CEO of a podcast. What can I say, Kieran? There's nothing else. You walked right into that one, motherfucker. No.
Oh, shit, I did.
Well, it's been a busy week. We've both been very stressed at work, very, very busy. You can tell we're quite tired tonight. I don't know if that's coming across in the recording, but we do try and be the best we can on radio and on podcasts.
Could you imagine if we ended up on like Triple J?
Yes. What would be funnier than most of the people on Triple J?
Kieran and Turch does breakfast.
Oh. No, it wouldn't, because you would never rock up.
No, I'd be there.
Yeah, you'd be there.
I would be there. When I used to do breakfast radio on SYN, that was the Student Youth Network. my other mates, they hated me because I accepted the Sunday morning 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. time slot.
Oh, so you should have been really funny with it. And in hindsight, Captain Hindsight over here, you should have called it like Sunday Service or something like that. And you could have like gone, it's like not a Christian thing, and just played like death metal, satanic metal tunes and talked about shit that you wanted to talk about, like atheism.
Oh, that would actually, that's a brilliant idea. No, we just called it.
We should do a Sunday show. Sunday service. We'll start off with a prayer that we write, and then some metal tunes, and then we'll do some more ranting. We can't even do a consistent Thursday show, let alone an extra Sunday show. Then maybe, if we ever do start our Patreon, that can be once a month our Sunday service. Sunday service.
Should
totally do
I love it.
Oh, well, Kieran, as we do with every single one of these shows, we start off with a rant. And I think I want to give people... I don't know if it's my turn or your turn. We used to really be very strict about who was going to do a rant. But now it just...
Sometimes the shows just turn into a rant.
Sometimes the show just turns into a rant. So I figure I'll start with this one here. Jess and I will be going to Germany for Oktoberfest. Now,
congratulations.
It's very, very exciting. And a bit of a heads up to our listeners.
Will you have a beer belly?
I already do.
Okay.
I'm already well ahead. But just want to tell our listeners in the upcoming months, the last week of September, first week of October, maybe the week after that, we'll be taking a break to recoup and all that sort of stuff for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe Kieran will record his joke and release it. Maybe episode 29 will come up as well.
Maybe at that time, episode 29 will appear.
So there may be some sort of postings in the meantime. But nonetheless, Jess and I have been celebrating the wonderful world of beer, steins, and pork in the lovely country that is Germany. I'm very excited by this. But before you go on holiday or something like this, one of the big things you have to do is see everybody. Because everyone's like, oh, I want to see you before you go to wish
Yeah.
you well. And you're just like,
Now, from what I'm hearing, right, you must be going away for years.
no.
You must be going away for years, Turch, because everyone wants to see you before you go.
Well, as I just explained to all the lovely listeners out there and to you, and to everyone, I'm only going away for like 3 weeks.
Well, we need going away drinks.
Absolutely. We will be doing that. But that's fine. But you know what? Going away drinks or something like that, I'm absolutely okay with. But it's all the additional things that come along with going away. Because people that you haven't seen, like, you post something that's like, 50 days to Germany. Like, Jess will post something like that or get really excited. Or we'll say it in passing. And people go, oh, before you go, you have to have dinner with us. Or you have to meet up with us. It's like, oh, that's a whole fucking time, isn't it? I'd rather with us, I'd go, we're going to try to get 10 of us together. We're going to have some beers and that's enough.
See, my mum went on a 3-week adventure. Went to Western Australia.
Rollies.
Camping or something. I don't know. It was glamping. And I said to her, I was like, enjoy your trip. Don't contact me for 3 weeks.
Exactly right.
You're on holidays.
And I think, look, my parents go away all the time.
I know. I came back from overseas. They came back from overseas.
Yeah.
Different flights. We met each other like walking towards immigration.
At the airport. Exactly right. But my parents came back from overseas, and the only time I ever like to hear from them is, one, when do you want me to pick you up? I'm happy to pick up my parents in the airport. They're the only people I'm happy to pick up from the airport.
There's a caveat to that. If I'm picking up someone from the airport and they're coming through international, it should be, what drink do you want?
Exactly right.
And then...
Look, always happy to pick up mum and dad from the airport, and that's basically it. But I can't remember where I was going with this. You've thrown me off my train of thought.
Sorry, you're complaining about people trying to catch up with you because you're going away for years, apparently.
Oh, sorry, my parents... Yeah. So the only photos that my parents ever send me from when they're overseas is pictures of my dad drinking.
Fantastic.
Which is fantastic. You know what? Out of all the photos in the world, those are the ones I say. Because I hate when people take photos of like sceneries and they just post it on like social media. It's like, this is the lake. And you're like, nah, this is a useless photo. I think the best advice I've ever heard about photos is if there's not someone in the photo with the item or whatever it is, it's a useless photo.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that, because you can buy a postcard. Whole thing is you could show people that you're actually in it, And as narcissistic as selfies are, they do have a purpose, I think. Nonetheless, everyone wants to catch up with me and just do a dinner and stuff like that. But there's definitely some people, like, you're definitely friends with them, and you don't mind being around them in social settings with other people. But once they get onto that one-to-one interaction with you, you want to become a bit more distant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to talk about things with them. And this is my problem. And I know I sound like I've had about 50 different problems, 50 different rants, this little thing. It's a build-up. But you have to understand, the rant I'm having about today is people who don't have hobbies.
The old... I've got nothing funny to say. I was going to call them lobbies, but I don't even think that's the old no hobbies.
Yeah,
nobbies, they're not.
They're nobbies. But yeah, and I'm sure you've met a whole bunch of these kind of people before. Like, you just go out with them and you think, yeah, okay, you know what? I understand. Like, people are busy. We work full time. And when you get home, sometimes you can't be bothered doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes to a stage within your own personal self that you need to do something. Like, in my mind, I'm always ticking. Unless I'm, like, sick. Like, I was sick yesterday. I'm back on it sort of today. Unless I'm physically incapable of doing something, I want to do something crazy. Or something stupid. Or something different that I've never done before.
Yeah, I hear.
So, for instance, like, I used to play indoor soccer, like, every week with some mates. And it was great fun. And every week, that was my thing to do. On top of that, we used to do, like, 1 day a week of training. I've got my band, The Clichés.
Yeah, you were also in a netball team. We were a mixed netball team.
We played netball together. Why? Why not?
And which I have to say, it is a brutal game when men play netball, because it's unlike basketball. You can't get fouled out.
No.
So it's fucking brutal.
No, well, we had a team member that did get fouled out. Remember that?
Well, there's,
Special cases. But, like I said, I've got the band The Clichés who are playing on the 8th of September at Bar 303, which is very exciting. I'm very excited to get back and play music with those people. I'm always organising things. Like, even like we're meeting up with, we're going to see Dead City Ruins this Friday, which is one of our mates' bands, ex-guest.
Excellent band as well.
Excellent band as well. And we're really excited to go see them. And it's like, oh, well, we're there anyway. Let's book a table and have some chicken, have some parmas. It's parmas, everybody. Chicken parmas. Thank you very much. Fuck you, Sydney. And
what does Sydney call it?
Palmies.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
See, he's a Perth boy over here, and he calls them palmas. See,
it's not palmies.
It's palmas.
Palmas.
Yeah, exactly right. Eager. But all these other activities, like, I used to, like I said, play indoor soccer. I'll go, we do a podcast like once a week. On the weekends, I like to go see you guys. I like to go, all these activities, and that's what makes people interesting,
Always doing something.
Yeah, always doing something.
Always doing something.
You're always you're starting up a business in the background. You're also going to all these
I
other
went to, which I'll have to talk about because I've got a review.
Please.
And it's not a movie review. I went to a museum.
There you go. See?
I tried to be cultured.
Oh, you cultured motherfucker. But people do. But I hate it when you go to talk to somebody and they just go like, Tuesday nights for Wednesday or Thursday nights for us, or sometimes Tuesdays, is podcast recording night. And we have lots of fun. We sit there, we have a couple of drinks, we talk about all the crap, all the weird,
we have some laughs.
Have some laughs, and then we create things and we post it and we get some social media thing. And then, like this week, I also had a rehearsal with Jess for our gig upcoming show. All exciting stuff. Busy week on top of work. What did you do? Oh, I just watched TV, or didn't do anything, or nothing fancy. And it's just like, what are you doing? I can't, I think I've got like this OCD, ADHD.
No, we're very similar.
Sort of thing.
We're very similar.
I need to be doing something compulsively,
We're very similar. I've got to be doing things too. Every now and then, I sort of go, all right, fuck it. I'm having a day of doing fuck all.
Yeah, you need those. Right? Absolutely.
Which, but
it's a recoup day, yeah.
That doesn't happen. Actually, I remember I toured America, right? For a whole month, like on the go. And this sounds so crazy. It was towards the end, about to come home. And there was one day where I was like, you know what? I'm not fucking getting out of bed.
Yeah.
And I watched South Park all day.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the best days.
But it's that recoup day. Look, I completely understand. Like, like I said, yesterday, today, had a migraine. Nah, totally conked out. But here I am, look, still recording the podcast, that sort of thing. But I just don't understand how you can have every single day as a nothing day once you come home from work. Like, even my parents who, winding up with their careers and stuff like that, getting there, like, they'll still take the dog out for a walk, or they'll watch, they'll go look, they're fantastic Scrabble players. They'll go out and organise things to go see, live music acts at the Italian clubs and do all that sort of thing. They do all those fun things. And their lives are vastly more interesting than some of the people my age who I meet who are couples. And, I see...
it's different when you've got a young child.
Well, the couple that I'm talking about in particular doesn't have a child. They're moved in together, they're married. But that's it. They don't do anything fun. Like, I've invited them out, hey, let's go have some drinks. Drinks are like the easiest thing for people our age to understand.
Yeah.
We don't have to go out and get shit-faced. We don't have to go out and get blindly drunk and end up at the casino and spending $50 on roulette.
Sometimes happens.
Which sometimes is needed. We don't have to end up at a strip club and see and then be put, trying to get a lap dance with your partner. It doesn't always have to happen. Sometimes you can just go to a bar and have 2 or 3 beers.
Absolutely.
2 or 3, and then a whiskey to finish off your night, and you can even drive home. I absolutely understand that. And look, even if you don't drink, absolutely happy to do that as well. Every so often I do a dry month and I just drink soda water. I drink, or something like that. And you can just sit with people and just talk to them about crap.
That's my favourite thing, talking about crap.
Yeah. Look, this is what this podcast is all about. It's like the worst Seinfeld episode ever. But I hate it when they've got nothing to come back to you with. And I'm sure you've experienced people like this as well.
Yeah, I know he doesn't listen to the podcast.
Excellent.
So I'm safe there. But
give him a name.
No, won't do that. But I don't. I would say I don't actually see this person that often in the year.
Yeah.
But I recently saw this person like twice.
Yeah.
In the space of the week, and the second time was just like
that was it.
There was nothing to discuss. Like it was like,
and not that you've grown apart or anything like that. Like it was just like you don't have anything to say, and you're not interested in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Again, I'll go back to this couple. I'm going to call these couple the feeling multicultural couple, and only one person's going to understand that reference.
All right, I think I know who it is.
But the feeling multicultural couple decide, like...
Do they listen to the podcast?
I certainly hope that they do now. But, they don't... they saw my dad while he was out, and they said, tell Turch to catch up with us. And then I'm like, well, why do I have... You saw my dad. You should message me and then organise something. But I don't even want to message you because you're so boring when I do talk to you. Last time I saw them, all they wanted to know about was the one of our friends who's no longer one of us, I guess. That story. Yeah. And then I'm like, once we did that story, which is quite a comprehensive story...
it is one of the most, when you go out right with friends, everyone's got their sometimes you're like, oh shit, Kieran's going on about that thing that he's always gone on about, but he's got two new people and he's going to bang on about it, right? And everyone else is like, we've heard it, we know the punchline, we're bailing and we're going to talk about other things or disappear, right?
This story...
That story is very comprehensive. But that story involves a lot of people. There's a lot of key stakeholders.
I was going to say, that story has people coming in and out, diving in. You know what? We should actually... I don't know if we ever want to do this, is actually record it. Because I don't think we have enough people to get on the show to actually record and do it justice.
You know Hamish and Andy, how they've got that show where it's the real stories?
Yeah.
People like real pub stories. I think we should apply for that. But we're going to need like 10 of us sitting there explaining...
It all started off with a Tinder. But look, that's my sort of rant today. I mean, the people here that I'm talking about.
How does that have anything to do with going overseas for 3 weeks?
Because they wanted to catch up with us, and I'm really like not looking forward to catching up with them because like after half an hour of politeness of conversation, how's your job?
You're going away for 3 weeks.
I know.
You probably haven't seen him for like 2 months.
Maybe this is not a WOG. Maybe this is like a WOG thing. It's like you're going overseas. I must see you and give you love and praises or something like that. Or when I come back, they're going to be like, tell us all about your trip, And it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I drank a lot. I'm going to tell everyone what my Germany trip's going to be like. I drank a lot and I tried not to make any Nazi jokes. Right. That's going to be my whole trip to Germany. And if anyone says that's not true, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's very bad. So if you've got any beautiful Nazi jokes... please send them to me because I need fuel for the fire. I know that's the two things you're not allowed to bring up apparently when you're in Germany: the war, and then 2018 World Cup. Those are the two things you can't bring up.
Okay, fair enough.
Very important.
2018 Cup will get you in jail if you talk about it.
Well, yeah, they bombed out in the group stage, which has never happened to them before.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Don't talk about that. In exciting news, Vietnam lost the semi-final of the something cup.
Sounds important. I'm glad you did your research.
That's breaking news that happened yesterday. Okay, so you're going overseas. People want to see you. You don't want to see them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I get it.
I mean, is it just me? I was like, not that I'm sick of talking to... I think you brought it up. Like, not that I'm sick of seeing these people, but I just know that after a while, the conversation's going to end, and I'm going to be like, why the fuck am I here? Mm-hmm. No.
That's when the men have to do men business and the women have to do women business.
So what, me keep drinking for two?
All right, you know what? I'm going to rant.
You're going to rant?
I'm going to rant.
Oh, fired up.
A friend messaged me Sunday morning, right? Oh, actually, Saturday night.
Was it me? Fuck.
No. Anyway, no. The Vikings were on at the museum.
Yeah.
Right? And I've been banging on about, maybe not on this podcast, but I'm Viking, right? My heritage is Viking. I've got no evidence to back it up.
I was going to say, have you done the DNA test like my nonna did?
But I swear I'm Viking, right?
I'll give it to you.
Anyway. So, go along to this Viking museum tour. Yeah, shit, why not? Like,
Sounds fun.
yeah,
Bit of culture into you.
sounds like a good way to kill a morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, get to the Viking museum. Very disappointed because no one's actually taking me on a tour. I've got to read, right?
You don't get like the headphones.
No,
and walk
no
around?
headphones, no nothing. Lots of people there as well.
I was going to say, lots of people be there. Be like yourself. Go, I'm definitely a Viking. Let's go see my heritage.
Yeah, so lots of people like me there. Lots of lines and things to view content. Anyway, we're in this line. This is my zinger. We're in this line. And we're looking, I mean, you've got to like look at some of this stuff and you go, shit, that's from like the 11th century.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. 1,000 years ago.
Like, this is pretty amazing. Like, in a way, like, and looking at the swords and looking at some of the clothing that they had and the jewelry, this is pretty amazing. Anyway, so, like, that's pretty cool. There's this girl family in front of us. She must have been 12, right? Bored shitless. Like, I can't believe my parents have taken me to this Viking thing on a Sunday. Anyway, she's on Instagram, right? so I loudly say, oh, geez, the museum's done this wrong. They should have just taken all the photos of it and put it on Instagram.
Oh, God. I bet you her eyes lit up.
Well, number one, I didn't realize how loud I said that.
Of course you didn't.
I just thought that was close enough for my friend to hear. I mean, she wasn't that far away. And then she was like, she got so embarrassed.
Oh, no, the 12-year-old.
And, we're like...
Oh, no, you're doing the Lord's work
and I'm
over
like,
there.
This line's moving really slowly as well to view these next 12 things in the section that we're in. Like, shit, we're stuck next to each other.
You are doing the Lord's work, sir. That's a fantastic
I was quite impressed with my comment.
Yeah.
I was like, that was Kieran, you genius. Anyway, had to go out to the toilet, right? So there's no toilet in this section.
Yeah, the Vikings didn't have toilets.
This museum part. Had to leave.
That's my zinger for the day.
Had to
Very
get
proud of that one.
Had to get my ticket out. They had to write the time that I left. Anyway, go to the bathroom, come back. The line's even huge, like bigger to get in, right? Huger. And I was like, well, I'm not fucking lining up again. So I was like, where's the exit?
Just walked right in.
Right? There was no bloody security. So I just walked right in. I could have been anywhere. I had to go through the gift shop.
Well, that's okay.
Gift shop, right? But then there was no security. I was like,
Yeah. Neat. You done
there's
it.
no one. I was like, why did I even buy a ticket? I could have just walked through the...
How much were tickets? How much did you save yourself?
Concession, so I was $21. $21, right? I don't know, it was like 28 or something for an adult. But the second part of the museum, no one was in there. Like this section, everyone's at this front section. There's more
Well,
room.
you obviously got there early, so people still walking through.
Anyway, after that, we got free admission to the rest of the museum.
Yeah, the museum's great. The Melbourne Museum's great.
You know what? They've got a war museum up there at the moment.
Oh, do they?
Like World War One. Way more interested and fascinated
Yeah.
by that than I was of the Vikings.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Vikings didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I quite like that. I like all the have like the human development sort of stuff. I reckon it's always interesting the way that they figure out parts of how our brain works, how our body works, and stuff like that. It's really fascinating to me.
Anyway, I probably won't be there for many, many years to come.
Fair enough. Kieran, you got an article for us?
Oh, I do. I was actually about to say, Turch, do you have an article for us?
Oh, you know what? I've got an article for us because you brought something up last week.
Oh shit!
And it resonated with me about the ability to have free speech.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, yeah, look,
I said something that resonated with you.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, something. Okay, not a lot, not a lot. But you know what? You do say stuff, and I sort of go, okay, that was that was really interesting. I sort of want to, not that I wanted to look into it further, but that was a really interesting point, and let's just see what happens. And there's always something pops up in the news, and this story is the most ridiculous story you'll ever hear about people not allowed to say something.
Oh.
So here we go. How's this?
Okay.
This is the headline that I read. NASCAR Xfinity driver Colin Daly, who's 26, loses his sponsorship after his father admitted to using the N-word in a 1980s radio interview even before his son is born. So this company pulled sponsorship for the 26-year-old driver on Friday. The company said it was in response to the racially insensitive remarks made by the father, Derek Daly, in the interviews in the 1980s. Derek is a former driver. Was fired from his job as a racing analyst after it resurfaced and he had said the N-word, nigger, during an interview. Connor will make his NASCAR debut at the rural Wisconsin road course on Saturday with a different racing team. And that's all you really have to know.
Don't pinpoint me, right? If something that my family or like, let's say my father or my mother or my brother or my sister said, right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm with them.
Well.
In the
well, next to them.
Like,
nodding along.
Yeah, doing head nodding.
Yeah.
Right? I don't. Maybe if we had a family charity, for instance,
Yeah.
right? And someone said something on behalf of the charity, you're fucked that way, right?
Yeah.
Because you.
Yeah.
If I'm not even born.
Well, so the gentleman said it in the 1980s. Look, and I'm sure context. I always say context is a very important thing. Same as like the last one. Last one we're talking about the lecturer that was going to come to Latrobe University. Was it Latrobe? Yeah, I think so. In this case, I'm sure context is important too. But let's take it on face value that the dad did say nigger. Right? In the 1980s. Why is this now affecting his son, who is a driver? And yes, he is an analyst. But this was 30 years ago almost. And has nothing to do what's happened, what he's done now. And I'm sure he was, again, it's about context. He could have been saying it, I don't know if he could be saying it in a nice way.
Well, assume
but
he's
he
not.
could have been saying it in an editorial way.
Let's just assume he's saying it in the worst way possible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the worst way possible. That should not. People are smart enough to go, yeah, that is not associated with this person, with his son. Now, unless his son has then gone along and endorsed that speech.
And so going on that, the big thing for me was to figure out what exactly he had said. So overall, these comments came out again. Some video popped up again. The father and the son have both said, both apologized.
Why is the son apologizing?
It's just what's happened. I wouldn't have done that.
Oh, tell them to go fuck themselves. Not the nigger.
No, just the general. Just the general, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the father said, look, that was maybe the one and only time I've ever said it. I've never said it again in my whole career. But I'm very sorry for doing it 30 years ago in the 1980s. I don't, let's just say that all happened. And I don't understand how it can affect the son. It's ridiculous to me. Now look, I understand free speech. It's not like, you're not free from the consequences of your speech. Right? If you're saying hate speech, or you're saying, something that is implicitly derogatory, or, whatever, as long as it comes under the law, absolutely fine. But the context of what you say definitely matters.
Well, we know the law is the law, and fairness must apply.
Oh. But I still can't believe it.
Sorry, not the castle was on, not the other night, but the dish. The dish was on
back.
the other night.
Still feeling it. Feel the goosebumps. I could see it on your arms, mate. But yeah, look, this was just a really weird story, and it came up in when you were talking about the free speech sort of stuff, and then this came up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like, I don't know if this comes under the banner of political correctness. I'm going to assume that it does.
Yeah, it comes under political correctness.
And if this is what political correctness is going to become, how does anyone go?
Or the other thing is the sponsorship. We're trying to get out of something, and they needed a way to break it.
Very weird ruse. I mean,
we don't want to no longer sponsor him.
But where does this go? Like, if this is political correctness, like, how far back do you go now to put the sins of the father onto the son? Like, I'm sure that my family in the past did some really horrific things. That's just, but that's the thing. How far back do you go? Do you go 1,000 years ago?
I know.
Do you go 500 years ago? Your family are Vikings. You raped and pillaged many a town. Do I not have
let's not make accusations we can't take back.
I mean,
I know what your family's done.
Hey, look, we killed a lot of...
Last week, I know what your family's done, and the heinous crime out of them all possible. Cream was not served with dessert.
No, that's pretty normal for Italians.
Or ice cream. And I understand they've done...
We had 2 types of cake!
Let's not get bogged down in whether we had 2 types of cake or not. There was no ice cream or cream served with it.
No, you don't serve ice cream.
That is very horrendous. I understand, Turch, and I understand your anger.
Ugh. I'm very sorry that my dog licked your spoon.
Oh, she's so cute, though.
She got away with it. You were very happy with this.
I was like, she's licked my spoon. I better get a new... Oh, I got a new one. So it's all...
You were fine. You'll live, my good friend. Kieran, it's enough about political correctness gone wild. That should be... Can you imagine that as a porno? Political correctness gone wild? It would just be the worst porno ever.
Alrighty. Well... A news reporter has been tricked. I'll have to get the recording and put it in here. Catherine Bertram with the Boston 25 News was reporting live from a scene of a plane crash at Craneland Airport in Hanson, Massachusetts. So the plane crash was the 20-year-old flying the aeroplane survived, right?
Yeah.
Not badly.
Is this the guy that hijacked that plane and did like a barrel roll?
Maybe. Anyway, the news reporter's obviously interviewing like what went wrong.
Yeah.
And he told her it was the flux capacitor. The flux capacitor was broken or damaged, and that's why the plane crashed. So in her news, she reports that a defect's flux capacitor almost caused a possible death.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I just found that.
That's fantastic. So obviously this person must have been young or never seen Back to the Future before. And just gone, well, that must be right. She would be a mechanic's dream. You know? Yeah, your spindle widget is a bit loose. We're going to have to replace it with a tight, with a firm
thingamajig
spindle widget. And we're going to rotate it to the left, because if we turn it to the right, like this one is, as you can see here, it's going to cause you some issues down the line. Like, you could just charge her whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, if you were unethical, like I am. So that's great.
Just hilarious.
Oh, that's pretty good. Kieran, I got a story for you.
Okay.
I got two stories about... I got a story about a bride.
Oh.
I know weddings are a hot topic around this time of year. By that I mean...
We are moving into the wedding season.
Maybe even to the surprise wedding season. We'll see how we go. One surprise
I only
wedding
like to do one surprise wedding a decade.
So a bride's foul-mouthed rant against wedding guests for not donating money.
I saw this, yeah.
A bridezilla has disowned friends and family in a foul-mouthed rant after she cancelled her $60,000 wedding when guests refused to give her $1,500 to attend. Now, alarm bells for me. Putting it out there. Alarm bells for me. She spent $60,000 on a wedding.
Yeah.
Now, that seems about, for me, $60,000 too much.
60,000 US.
So let's say. But this is the thing. I'm doing a bit of maths here in my head, and sometimes I'm okay. She's asked for $1,500 for people to attend for $60,000, asking $15,000 each. That means she only invited 40 people. Okay,
so 40 people to cover the cost. No, I reckon most weddings have about 100 though, don't they?
I was gonna say, to maybe $600 each.
There are weddings where they're small and all that, but
but 40 people is quite very small.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last couple of weddings I've been to about 100, 120.
I mean, my mum who got married the second time had about 40.
Yeah. That's it, But like the last wedding, the weddings we've been to, like our friend's wedding, had like 100 people, 100 something people, because the Wog family,
well, even 100 small.
100 small, which is crazy to think. So look, I'm not going to go down that thing. I'll just try and read a bit of her message. Dear friends, it comes with great sadness that I am announcing the cancellation of our wedding. I apologize for cancelling only 4 days beforehand. Unfortunately, the groom and I have broken up due to some recent irreparable problems. We've been decided to end our relationship and not go forth with future proceedings. However, we're remaining civil and are still a team for our son. After hours of tears, mental exhaustion, even disassociation, I've come to the decision in 1 hour after posting the status, I'm going to delete my Facebook. Great. Cry for attention. Psychoanalysis as we go, right? Social media has caused me only paranoia and toxicity. I'll be spending these next 2 months backpacking in South America, exploring my soul and ridding myself of toxic energy brought on by my friends and family.
Wait, sounds like she's got a child.
Yeah, she does have a child. She did say that.
Is she leaving the child behind?
Look, she's taking, as she states here, I am ridding myself of toxic energy brought on by my friends and family. I will be out of the country for all of October and November. Please don't contact me. When I'm ready, I may make a new Facebook and add friends and family that haven't fucking stabbed me in the back. I'm assuming that's what it says. How did it all come crashing down? Well, I invite you all on Facebook, prayers, bystanders, and characters in my people life. Take a seat and listen. Before I begin my mini novel...
Oh my god, is she still going on?
This is like 400 pages. I don't even know where to sort of stop.
Oh, this is gold. Keep going.
Yeah, I know. I'm really enjoying this. This is some nice gold. Okay, before I begin this mini novel, I invite you all to put yourself in my shoes. For once, let me take the stage and let me voice my most painful few months of my life. First, things were a fairy tale. I met my love of my life at 14. We were both young and somehow just knew we were meant to be. We worked on my mum's farm together, and each warm summer spent the field, our love grew deeper and deeper. Fast forward to high school, we went strong all 4 years. He put a ring on my finger when I was 18, worth nearly $5,000. So far this is racking up. This is Anthony racking up his head. $60,000 for a wedding, wasted $5,000 on a ring. So that's $65,000. We put everything on the line for each other, everything. We both chose to attend the same community college and work full time in order to build our dream. We spent most of our days by each other's side. I will always be thankful for that. Fast forward a few years, I was 22. That's 2 years.
Yep.
I realized I was pregnant with my first. We were elated, tearful, and thankful for God for this gift. After giving birth to Declan, and the Declan is spelled Declyn. I knew the next step would be to focus on my career, become financially stable. My ex did the same. We saved and saved. I was in love.
Wait, her ex? What?
Well, I'm assuming she's referring to the ex now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
My current partner, I guess.
Yeah. At that time. Yeah,
At the time. I was happy and looking forward to it. We managed to save up nearly $15,000 for a wedding.
Well done.
Okay, so yeah, $45,000.
I don't think, to be fair, weddings are great.
Yeah.
But God forbid if I've got to pay for my wedding.
Oh, fucked.
I'm not putting that money in a wedding. I'm putting it in like shares.
Or a house. Since our love was like a fairy tale, we wanted an extravagant blowout wedding. Well, where our son could be included, we started touring venues.
Did she say the word blowout?
Yeah, that's an extravagant blowout wedding.
What is she, a gypsy?
Oh, I don't know. She's having a real good time. Okay, ready for this one? A local psychic told us to go with the more expensive option. And we thought, why the hell not? We just need a little push. Our dream amounted to $60,000. All included with flights to Aruba. We asked for a little help from our friends and family to make it happen. I specifically asked for cash for gifts. How could we have our wedding that we dreamt of without proper funding? We sacrificed so much and only asked each guest for around $1,500.
Number one, I'm just pointing out, number one, I have yet to give any of my friends at their wedding $1,500.
I don't think I'll... Sorry, buddy.
Like-
You're not getting 1,500 buckets. And you know what? I'm going to put it out there because Kieran's always said you were going to be the minister at my wedding.
Yeah.
You know, the whatever we call
As
it.
soon as you propose,
That's right.
that day I'm booking in and getting my celebrants.
That's right. That's it. Celebrate
Which,
for my
which
wedding.
at the moment, I'm going to have to fork out about 900 buckaroos.
That's pretty... So that's the most expensive thing
That's
that
like
you'll
the most
ever do.
expensive gift.
But you're only doing it because you want to be a dick.
Yeah, and then
It's all for
obviously,
spite.
then obviously I've got to do a few more weddings to get that return on investment.
But fine.
Yeah.
Good return. So, we'd sacrificed so much and we only asked each guest for around $1,500. We talked to a few people who had promised us more to make our dream come true. My maid of honor, who shall not be named, pledged $5,000 along with her planning services. We tearfully thanked and accepted. My ex's family offered to contribute $3,000, so a request of $1,500 for all the other guests was not fucking out of the ordinary. Jeez, she writes like a 3-year-old. Likely, we made it clear if you couldn't contribute, you weren't invited to our exclusive wedding. It was a once-in-a-lifetime party.
Hang on a second. There's some alarm bells ringing here. Exclusive? Do you know what? Like, if you want to have... I don't mind having a dream wedding, but if it takes you 10 years to save up to have this wedding, fine.
Take your 10 years.
Take your 10 years or 20 years.
take out a loan.
Pardon?
Take out a loan.
Yeah.
Like, very simple. Everyone does personal loans. Very easy to do. The bank will guarantee you money. Got to pay it back. That's how the economy works. Shall I continue?
Yeah. God,
So we sent out RSVPs and only 8 people replied and sent us the check.
Who were those 8 people?
So I'm just getting... So other than... let's see here. So 8 people. I'm assuming one will be the maid of honor.
Mm-hmm.
The ex's family. So maybe 2... The mother and father.
If my sister or brother got married and said, "Oh, by the way, it's going to cost you $1,500," all right, hang on. Let me rephrase.
My dad
it,
would
right?
smack him over the back of the head.
Hang on. If it was in Melbourne and
Yeah.
they said, "By the way, you got to pay $1,500 to come," to this
I'd
wedding,"
kill them. Yeah.
Right? I'd be like, "No way." My mother's wedding, right? We had to fly to Bowen, right? But she, which very grateful as well, she's like, "You got to buy your own ticket."
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. But she covered the accommodation.
Perfect.
For
Which
a
is
week.
probably more expensive.
Yeah, which is way more expensive. So
Yeah,
I was like,
No,
oh, thank
done,
God.
done.
Because I would have been up there. Otherwise, I would have been there for like 3 days, not a week.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, had a great time. But it was also like, and which Mum also understood, I'm flying up there. I'm taking like personal leave to go there. So I'm not using the leave for what necessary. You know what I mean? And it's...
Yeah. It balances out.
Yeah. But, I mean, if I had a friend who was getting married in, like, New York or whatever, you've got to travel there. So you are going to spend, like, money to travel.
Yes.
So sometimes...
But you know what? Like, I'm sure if someone got married in New York, like a friend of ours got married in New York, you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, okay. I'll go. But I'll also...
Because it's going to be in, like, 2 years.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
But also, I'll take off 4 weeks and
Yeah.
I'll be in the US.
Yeah, and I'll travel.
And
Yeah.
it works out, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, 2 or 3 days for the wedding, travel 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Shall I continue? Because it only gets better.
Yeah,
That's
continue.
great. So,
Sorry, listeners to the podcast.
No, this is... They're enjoying it, I'm sure. So only 8 people sent the check. We were fucking livid. How was this supposed to happen without a little help from our friend?
How much money do they have now?
So, $5,000...
Plus-
So they had 15.
Yeah.
So, plus they got a $5,000 from the maid of honor, 20 now. Plus 3,000 from the family.
Yeah, 23.
23. That's all I count so
Plus
far.
1,500 times 8.
Yeah, 1,500 times 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're about 35 cray. They're
Okay.
about halfway. Just over halfway. To make matters worse, my ex's family took back their offer. Suddenly, more people backed out, including the cunt maid of honor. My best friend since childhood, my second family. I was so shocked and tearful. To make matters worse, it was only 1 month before the wedding. I had to to cancel everything would have been more than $5,000. Desperately, we resent our invites and asked people to donate what they could. I mean, seriously, people, what is $1,000? What is $1,500? Clearly not a lot. It would have been quite marginal and within budget. I've heard of people asking for worse. We also set up a GoFundMe. We only got $250. At this point, we were exhausted, tired. I yelled at my ex. I became unraveled, and I realized my own dream wedding was becoming a nightmare. And then it got worse. My ex came into the room and offered to get a Vegas wedding done. I laughed in his face.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is just...
But he was dead serious. He wanted those cheap, raggedy, filthy, whore-like Vegas weddings. I mean, what the fuck? Was he out of his mind? Am I some hooch piece of fucking trash? A hooker? Am I supposed to like the idea of getting married in the heart of a shady gamblers, alcoholics, and get rich fast fallacy? Suddenly, my body began to shake and I entered a panic attack. I'm putting it out there. All the people that wanted to come to your wedding were shady gamblers, alcoholics, and get rich fast fallacy people. Because that's what people do the way. They go, yep, here's some money. I'm going to drink as much of your booze as I possibly can.
Yeah, that's basically what I do.
So she had a panic attack. My ex left the room and didn't apologize for his horrid suggestion. Then I called my maid of honor and cried my eyes out. Instead of sympathy, I was told I was asking for way too much and I should stick to my budget, which is $15,000. So she, if a project said, hey, we need 4 times the budget, they'd probably go, you know what, we're going to fire you.
Yeah. I don't think this person understands how the world works.
It said, no words can describe. How could someone offer me thousands of fucking dollars, then deny me my promised money, and then tell me to shift down my budget? She knows my fucking dream was a blowout wedding. I just wanted to be a Kardashian for a day, and then live my life like normal. I called her a filthy fucking poor excuse of a friend and hung up.
Wait, the bride of honor said that to the...
Yeah, no.
The maid of honor? The maid of honor said that?
So the maid of honor just said to the bride, hey, look, maybe shift down your budget.
Yeah.
And
then she goes, I just want to be a Kardashian.
I want to be a Kardashian. I called her a filthy fucking poor excuse of a friend and hung up. She blocked me off all social media. Rumors swirled. I received anonymous threats. My ex stayed out later and later, and I have a feeling he even cheated. My bridesmaids climbed on the boat with my maid of honor and dissed me. They essentially told me I was crazy. They asked for their deposits back. I said, fuck you. I refused to give them back until they pay me back for emotional distress. Oh, man. My ex started to talk to my maid of honor and gossip about me behind my back. I overheard him talking in the basement, calling me a stuck-up bitch. Okay, so this is the last bit. Anyway, I am exhausted. I am bone-tired. My heart is not the same. It's stone-cold, fragmented, empty. I need to get away from this awful society. How hard would it have been to fucking donate, friends? Do I matter to you? Just fucking give me money for my wedding. I won't even sugarcoat it. I won't even pretend that it's not what I wanted. It was for a dream. I was stabbed, cheated on, and W-arcade. Wrecked? I think that's definitely not a word. Goodbye, see you in 2 months. Friendly reminder to you cunts. Don't think you own me. I'm cutting you off cutting all of you snakes off. I'm living my life alone now. I only let those I believe have good intentions. And so 2 comments have been left onto here. Because this was a Facebook post.
Wow.
Do you want to say something before?
Wow. What? She's a stuck-up bitch. Number one, blame everyone else. Don't take responsibility.
There's no responsibility.
There's no responsibility.
It's incredible.
No responsibility there. And do you know what? $1,500 is a big deal.
Well, okay. So in Australian money, it's like what, $2.5 grand. Let's just say $2 to keep it really easy.
Yeah.
Holy crap! If someone said to me, unless you know what,
if someone came to me and said, "Can I borrow $100?"
You'd be like, "What for?"
I'd be like, "Well, it depends who you are, but $100 is still
It's a big deal.
It's still a big deal.
It's a big deal to a lot of people. I would say most people would go, even if you're trying to give away $50.
Yeah,
go,
even $50.
I guess it's one of those things. You wouldn't even a lot of the times you wouldn't even give $1 to a homeless guy.
Yeah,
unless you really felt like you had to. Most people just wouldn't. That's a fact. You walk down the street, see a homeless guy, not going to give him any money. But even if a friend for a wedding she stated it right at the end. All I'm asking for, I want you to pay for my wedding. Ooh, that's
not how the world works.
That's fair. I like how she started an Indiegogo, or was it a GoFundMe or something like that. I can imagine that being shut down like a motherfucker.
That is just...
It's mind blowing. I
That is
didn't
just...
realize.
I would disconnect from that friend. If that was a friend, I'd be like,
Well, I think that
get
they all
the
do.
fuck out of my life.
But it sounds
But
like him and
she's
the partner-
taking the money, now going on a holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she had 15 grand straight up. She has a $5,000 ring on her finger. That's worthless because, diamonds are useless. And she's gone off. Left the son and left the
So
husband.
15 grand plus, she's probably still got that $1,500 times 8.
Yeah, give
What's
or
that?
take. What they asked for her back. Oh, what's that?
So she's got about
yeah.
20 grand.
Yeah, she's got about 20 grand. She's got 12K there, 15 grand there. She's got 30K. 30K.
She's going on a holiday.
Yeah. She's gone backpacking.
With my fucking money. My
Feel fucked.
1,500.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking... Oh.
Oh, there's a lawsuit
Yeah.
definitely happening. It'd be really interesting to see if anything happens. I feel really bad for the like she went to a psychic and the psychic said, do the full thing wedding. If my partner ever came to, I saw a psychic and we should spend 4 times our budget that we actually have for a wedding, there would be a very big
I know your
conversation.
option, right? Let's just say...
Be a very big conversation.
Let's just say you had $50,000 for a wedding, Turch.
Yep.
But you could basically put $50,000 in shares or something like that, right? Like there's
I'd rather put a deposit on a house.
this amazing investment opportunity, or even a house, right?
Yeah.
Even a house where you know that money is going to go up in value,
Yeah.
right? And
I find it very hard to
and you could
justify
go-
money
you could go,
for a wedding.
I could have a $50,000 wedding that's got no return, or I could go, you know what? I'm going to put $40,000 toward a house, but we'll have $10,000 for.
Oh, look, and I understand that you got to spend money on a wedding because weddings are expensive overall. Like, if you want decent food, you want decent booze, you want people to sing and dance, and share your day with you. Understand, but you know what? You invite people to your wedding that you want to celebrate your day with.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'd invite, that's why you invite your family that you love. It's why you invite your best mate to put them on a table next to the booze.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. And that's why you hire, a DJ or a band so everyone can have lots of fun and dance and do stupid shit. I don't even know what you spend $60,000 on. Like, unless you...
All right, so a family, friend, connection, blah, blah, blah. Like, member of Melbourne's high society, right?
Yeah.
His first daughter got married,
Yeah.
right? He's in the law,
Law spectrum.
potentially a judge,
Yeah.
right? His first daughter got married, and he told her, whatever, like, this is, okay, whatever you're having the wedding, but there's conditions on your wedding.
Of course.
And she goes, what do you mean? And she goes, there's guests I have to invite.
Of course.
And there is obviously her daughter knows the standard, but there is a standard to this wedding because high society is coming to this wedding, which means basically he's got to spend a bucket load. I think this wedding cost about $150,000.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money,
but that
right?
was the...
But he had to
fork it out. Yeah.
He was paying for it, but he also had to dictate some of the terms to his daughters because it was his first daughter getting married. Didn't matter for the other 3 that got married.
Yeah.
But just the first one.
Yeah.
It's just I was like, wow, just.
It's a bit like I always bring it back to Italians because that's what I know, right? But same as Italians, like my parents talk about, like, mum and dad had a list of about 100 people, and the grandparents added in an extra 50 people each, and went up to 200 people at this wedding. And mum's like, I don't know a lot of these people at this wedding. Like, there's some photos of people. My nonno would be like, oh, I met him on the boat coming from Australia the second time. I have to invite him. And I went to his son's wedding.
Yeah.
So I have to invite him.
Yeah.
No, we don't. Yes, we do, because it's disrespectful if you're not. And it's like little things like that, and it gets people stuck in there. But you know what? Even though they went to this wedding, they invited these people to this wedding, they didn't ask them for $1,500.
No.
Oh, that's insanity.
Oh, what are the comments? I want to know the comments. I know there's only 2 comments.
There's only 2 comments, and I'm assuming that this is like friends of the bride or the bride to be. They've been crossed out. It says, I have no words. You're out of your mind, Susan. And the other one is, what happened to you? Who the hell expects that amount of money? Those are the only 2 comments. But everyone on the old Interblag seems to be not on her side. Can you? Mind-boggling. Like, you got a son, so the son's got to be at least a couple of years old. Wouldn't you rather set yourself up with that?
Put the money towards
The son?
The
like,
son.
who cares if you're not married?
Oh, unbelievable. Well, from brides to guns.
To brides to guns. You know what? Might need one.
Thieves in Paraguay. Thieves replace Paraguay police rifles with toy replicas.
That's great. Oh, God.
During an inspection, officers found that the FNFAL battle rifles had been replaced with wooden and plastic replicas. 42 powerful rifles from the police armory have been stolen. The inspection had been ordered after the rifles started appearing a year ago on the black market, where they fetch up for $10,000.
Yeah, be good rifles.
The rifles had been put into storage but were still in working order. Some of them are thought to have ended up in Argentina, while others are believed to have been smuggled to Brazil. Neighbouring Brazil has long complained that many of the illegal weapons seized there have been smuggled into the country from Paraguay. Paraguayan, that's it. Paraguayan media
Sounds right. I don't know.
posted photos of the replicas and called them the most embarrassing scandal in the history of the country's police force.
That's the okay. I was gonna say in the country as a whole, no, in the police force. That's pretty good. That's a really good scam.
No, that is a brilliant scam.
So obviously this would have had. I would say that someone inside the police force would have had to know about this.
Oh, absolutely.
And they've gone, hey, we know what we can fucking do.
We can just get some toy replicas.
Not only did they say, let's just steal the guns, they said, let's also put toy replicas there. That is trolling to the next level.
Oh, it's just brilliant. And in other exciting news, the air guitarists compete for fame and glory at the World Championships.
I knew you'd bring this one in. That's why I didn't. I knew you would.
On Friday, 15 contestants from North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia.
I'm so all us white privileged countries
brought their A game to the rainy stage in Oulu, Finland, for the Air Guitar World Championships. I think it's been about 10 years since Australia's hosted the World Championships.
If it ever does, we're going.
I'm pretty sure they have at one point.
I said, if it ever comes back here, we are definitely
Each
going.
contestant performed part of a song of his or her choosing, then had to improvise to Hopeless Case of a Kid in Denial by the Swedish rock band The Helicopters.
There you go. I've never heard that song.
Yeah, I never heard of them.
Sounds good.
But the winner was Japan's Namani Naguro.
Nailed it.
The 2014 champion as well.
Oh, there you go. It's 2.
Yep.
Every 4 years, like the Olympics.
Yeah, she took home first prize and will get a spot in... No, it's every year. In next year's World Final. That is the World Championship of Air Guitar.
That's awesome. Speaking about pettiness and wives. Do you remember that story? And I'm sure you would have seen it. And that Apple and Samsung sue each other all the time.
Which is hilarious because doesn't Apple have like Samsung technology?
Yeah. But it's like patent design and a few other little things about technology and stuff like that. So it's like a little bit within the phone they can sue over because it looks like almost identical and stuff like that. I don't really understand it, but they're suing each other. They can sue each other for millions of dollars, and basically it's just back and forth just to make sure.
So basically, it's just like CEO egos.
Yeah.
This and that.
But there was a story going around that Samsung had actually paid Apple all in like $20 million in pennies.
Oh.
Did you ever hear that story?
No.
Well, I wanted to bring something like that in as an example, but to match this story here. But apparently that's fake. Apparently that never actually happened.
Oh, fake news.
Which would have been really cool. But this story actually happened. An Indonesian man pays $14,000 to ex-wife in coins.
Are we talking 14,000 Indonesian dollars?
Well,
or
let's have a look here. An Indonesian man who owed his ex-wife a large alimony back payment of $14,000. He paid it back in coins. And an Indonesian civil servant who owed his wife $40,000, he's paid it back. Dwi Sululato arrived in court on Thursday hauling a dozen sacks filled with 153 million rupiah in small change. A hefty payment that weighed at about 890 kilograms, his lawyer said.
Wait, why is there a lawyer involved in this?
Alimony.
He's paid the money.
Yeah, he's painting it over.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just there. A fight nearly broke out between the man and the ex-wife's lawyer, who refused to count the money transported in a wheelbarrow pushed by the 54-year-old and two of his mates. The lawyer stated that the client was trying to insult his ex-wife, and the man's low public service salary forced him to reach out to friends after the court in the town ordered him to pay back years of 9 years of unpaid back alimony. And yeah, look at that. So nearly 900 kilos of coins. It's pretty good. And you know what? I respect that man.
I do too.
That's fantastic. And I'm going to tell you a story.
If I borrowed $100 off you, Turch, I would make sure that I repaid $100 in 5-cent pieces.
That would be almost torture. Well, I'm going to tell you a story about 5-cent pieces. One, I think that there's a scam going on with Coles, because I think that eventually 5-cent pieces are going to be phased out. And Coles have worked out a way, they're already preparing it with their self-serve checkouts to only give you 5-cent pieces. So I think they're preparing for the apocalypse of the 5-cent piece. But 5-cent pieces can't be used basically. Name it somewhere that you can actually use a 5-cent piece that doesn't have a person.
I don't even think you can use it in vending machines.
You can't use it in vending machines, and you can't use it in Mikey machines, which is like our public service, public transport ticket thing. So you can't. So an actual coin of dollar value, of like, you know, monetary value, cannot be used with a public service, which blows my mind, which is fantastic. But that's okay. But you can do 10s, 20s, 50s, and that. Now, have I ever told you the story of me with my Mikey?
No, never.
Okay. So I thought I had a whole bag of change, like you know when you go to get coffees and they give you like a 10-cent back and a 5.
Yeah.
20
Every December I walk into the bank with all my coins that I've saved for the year. Right,
well,
and I walk in and do the coin machine thing.
Yeah, it's good.
And then go, wow, I've got $20.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's pretty good. That's 2 beers that I couldn't do otherwise, because I would have a wallet full of coins that's like sticking out of my pants. But so I thought, you know what? I've got a bag of coins. I'll just go down to the Mikey machine, put my card in there, put all the coins in, and that way I've actually got something useful.
Yeah, understandable.
Great idea. Went down there. So I was like, all right, I'll start with all my 50-cent pieces. 50-cent pieces go in. All good. 50-cent pieces, no worries. I had like $10 of 50-cent piece, which is not much. Like,
fantastic. Yeah.
Go to the 20s. So I'm putting it in. I was, so it's like... in.
The line's building up. People are getting frustrated and annoyed.
So it's all good. Put in another... Get to $4.60, and I put in another coin of 20-cent piece. And then the machine just goes... and drops it all out.
Oh no!
And I went, all right, maybe something happened. Maybe like the time was like going from one bag to another. So I did it again. Put in the last, so it was $4.60. Put in the coin for $4.80.
So the machine's got a limit.
The machine has a limit in coins of $4.80, $4.60.
Yeah.
In 20-cent pieces until you have to do it again. So I had like $20 in 20-cent pieces or something stupid like that. I had a big bag of coins. Felt like a hamburger, like it was a hamburger or like a robber with a big dollar sign on the front. Some there's going, oh fucking, all right, here we go. Yeah, and I did it with 10 cent. 10 cent wasn't too bad. It got up to $5.
Yeah.
Found out the hard way.
This is important information to know if I'm ever going to go to a Mikey machine with coins.
But you can't use 5-cent pieces at the machines. The only place you can use them is Coles.
Bloody outrageous. And everyone shops at Woolworths anyway.
Oh no, I'm still a Coles guy. I've worked at Coles for a very long time. I'm always going to be. Those little shops get me every time.
Well, Turch, it has been an excellent show.
That went far quicker than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah, can you believe it's been 2 hours?
So, you know what? Yes. Very good, Kieran. Very That's another episode down. But we've got a big episode sort of come up again. The 40th episode will be a really big one.
The midlife crisis.
The midlife crisis episode. We've got lots of surprises in the works, which is very exciting. We've got we'll see, maybe some returning guests. So we've definitely got some fun games coming up. I don't know. I'm just making things up and hoping for something that sticks with Kieran's face.
I give him nothing, people. I give him nothing.
But there's plenty of stuff coming up. If you would like to make sure that you're contacted with us at all times, please make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on YouTube, on Instagram. Instagram's our specialty these days, and obviously on Facebook for all your wanking needs. Share it with a friend. Like, word of mouth really does help. Tell like one or two mates.
And we will be asking for only $1,500 very soon. So you can continue to listen to the We Only Do One Take podcast.
No, we will even take 0.0000015 Bitcoin. If you've got 0.0000015 Bitcoin that you would like to...
What about we also accept 5-cent pieces?
We also accept 5-cent pieces.
In a bag.
No, this is exactly why we have to start our Patreon. To pay for this sort of stuff. But if you'd like to email us a rant... As usual, please email us at weonlydoonetake@gmail.com. I believe that's up on the Facebook page and on the SoundCloud page as well. You can always do that. But it's pretty easy to remember. It's the name of the show at gmail.com. Kieran, thank you for another fantastic episode.
My pleasure, Turch. Thank you.
And we'll see all you lovely people next Thursday.